do I feel about the series right now?
Yes.
I am kind of upset on how they finally figured out how to play against the Denver Nuggets until the fourth quarter. I know you
Yeah.
didn't watch the game, but the first half was like pretty bad. But see, the thing is, after the first half, it was like honestly, it was pretty good. I mean, like we figured out how to stop the Joker at the end, and like that's like a hard thing for every team to do. But yeah, I mean, just so you know, this might be a classic championship preview of the Celtics and Lakers. So you
I
know,
know. I know. It's
I
sick.
don't know.
Like,
I still don't understand how the 76ers lost to the Celtics because on paper, having an MVP is like very hard to like beat out. Um, so I didn't really watch. I don't know. I didn't watch. See, the thing is, we watched like the first half of the game seven, and then since it was Mother's Day, we were trying to do something. So we left, and we were trying to get like the day started, night started, because we. I think I went and walk in the morning and mowed the lawn, and I was like, well, I don't want to sit around and just like sit around. So we ended up going out, and then we were at the area we were at, and then we looked at the score. They were up like 20 or 20 something, and I was like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Good thing we didn't watch Game 7 for the Celtics."
yeah, it seemed like from what I saw, it was like they won by like almost 40, didn't they?
I mean, I didn't even like I'm kind of glad that because we were at a brewery at one point and they had TVs and I was gonna ask to put it on, but we checked on ESPN. I was like, yeah, I don't want to watch this. It's like, what I'm saying, like if it was like a closer game, like I'd be like, yeah, let me ask to see if they'll put it on. But it was like so far away that I'm just like, yeah, there's no need. Like Celtics are playing the Heat, game one,
Yeah.
we don't need to worry about this series anymore. Are you guys comfortable playing that? Do you feel like you guys are up for the challenge? It's so funny
Yeah,
though.
we'll see.
It's so funny though because the Heat are eighth in the East and the Lakers are seventh in the West. So it's funny how the worst teams, right? I'm putting in parentheses if you guys aren't watching the video. The worst teams are matching up with the best in the East and the West.
Oh dang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because
that's
the
true.
bull.
That's true,
So the
yeah.
so the Bulls lost to the Heat for the play. So I don't know if you know that, but they do like playing games, where like the seventh, eighth, ninth, and the 10th, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th. Those teams pretty much play for spots now, for
Yeah.
like the top eight, and then so the Bulls um, actually lost to the Heat. So if anything, the Bulls were allowing the Heat to get this far because if the Bulls would have won that game, it could have been the Bulls playing the Celtics. So
Yeah. Yeah, possibly.
unfortunately, I mean, I would like to see that would be pretty cool to see like a Lakers Bulls because like those are my two favorite teams. But I don't think that's gonna happen in my lifetime. Maybe it will. Actually, it could happen.
Yeah, you never
Um,
know, buddy. You never know. You never know.
do you feel comfortable with the Celtics and the Heat, or?
Yeah. People are like the so I'm not like I'm very far removed from basketball, so the little bit that I know, Jimmy Butler is like an absolute beast for the Heat. And I think the
Mhm.
only other name that I really know, I think he might be injured. Tyler Hero, isn't he their point guard?
Yeah, he like broke his hand or a couple
Yeah.
fingers or a finger, so he can't even like play. So
Yeah, so like I guess the little bit that I saw from like different sports pundits, they're just saying that Jimmy Butler is going to give us fits.
yeah,
But the Celtics are, from what I understand, they're a pretty complete team. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, like Al Horford, like they're pretty locked down. So I don't know. It should be a good series. Yeah,
One of the guys on the Heat actually went to high school in the same district as I did.
Oh really?
Max Strus, the number
Nice.
31 on the Heat. I
Okay.
think he's I think he's like 3 years younger than me, but he pretty much was like a freshman or sophomore when I was a senior in high school in the same district. So it's pretty cool
Okay.
to see because he grew up like 10, 15 minutes away from me.
Yeah.
Didn't even know him.
Oh
Didn't even
wow,
know.
okay. Did
Yeah.
Okay. Now I was gonna ask if you like ever played basketball against him, but if you didn't know him, then it's relevant.
No, so I did play basketball growing up, like my whole life as a kid, but I didn't play in high school. I only played football and volleyball in high school.
Okay, that's really cool that you played volleyball in high school, buddy. That's actually really cool.
It kind of translates from basketball because it's like a lot of jumping and moving movement. So
Yeah.
a lot of the times, like, it was pretty easy to do.
Yeah, we had like a little volleyball club at the rec center. I only went a few times in high school, but it was a ton of fun, and the it was a good group that played. They were nasty. They were like varsity level. Like they were very good. I was very much like a casual volleyball player. I'm very competitive. So I definitely did my best, but yeah, no, it was fun though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's honestly, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I didn't play really at a highest like standard, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like I started the time I played, and then like I was only a middle, so like I played like front line. Unfortunately, I didn't really play a lot of back line, so it's more of a sidestep block, setting up for spikes, and then pretty much or like sets. Like even though like see the thing is with like volleyball at higher levels, like you don't even like you have like set players that do set things. So it's like you
yeah,
don't like in basketball, like there's post and guard, and those are like the two big areas. But like in volleyball, there's specific people for the specific needs, and like most of the time, like I wasn't ever setting. It was like last minute. Like if the setter wasn't there, then I was setting. You know what I'm saying? Like, so half the time it's like you have that person for that point. Like if you're a libero, like they want you to be pretty much the main person off the first pass because you get 3 hits, and the libero was like always trying to get the first hit because they were the best passer. They knew how to set things up, and then you give it to the setter, and then you had the three front line. So you would you know what I'm saying? Like so it's like
yeah.
it's honestly like I think people think volleyball is a lot harder than it is, but like if you know the rotations and the spots, like it's honestly I feel like you don't do as much. It is fast paced, don't get me wrong. Like it's tiring, but like I feel like you don't do as much in certain positions. But
Yeah, but
anyway, yeah.
no, it's cool because you actually understand like more of like the strategy behind it. Whereas like I guess I understand, maybe I understand the strategy, but I didn't know like some of the names, and that it was like, and it makes sense. Like you'll have like there's
Yeah,
there's
there's
positional val
outside. Yeah,
there's
there's so that
positional value.
yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, I mean, and then sometimes like if you're a good passer but you could still hit, like sometimes you could be in the back row and like spike from the back row, but like instead of spiking on the net, like if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, guys, I did. Speaking of which, I sent Roman a random picture today, and he's probably like, "What the heck is he?" He's like, "What is this?" But yeah, I did actually get my blood work done yesterday at the doctor's. So I did my annual physical and blood work. We don't have to talk. We don't have to get into it today, because we definitely want to talk about something today. And we're like 8 minutes deep already. But but man, I'm just gonna market a product with all my stats. How to raise your testosterone levels really high naturally. The picture I sent you, Roman, I was 778 last year,
Okay. Dang.
and
And
now
then
I'm 878 this year.
I think that it was like in like the 500 range, even like several years ago too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was. I think like 3 years ago. It was like probably honestly 4 or 5 hundreds. I think it might have been in the
Okay.
400s like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Um, Yeah. So it's pretty nice to see that, and it's nice to see the levels still pretty high. Um, and I think we've talked about it on our podcast before about like simple ways on how to raise testosterone or balance out like hormone levels. Um, Also, guys, if no matter how old you are, young you are, you should still get like the complete blood panel. And also, Roman, I'm gonna spoil it for some of it, but like my cholesterol levels and like my all that, like the HDL, LDL, and total cholesterol. Dude, I smoked it. so I would like to go through it, like if it, like maybe on the next one that
Yeah.
we do, you and I, but like
All
yeah,
right.
everything's looking good. Unfortunately, like I had some liver like numbers like in the weird areas, which is like sort of concerning ish. They want me to retest in a month.
Okay.
But I don't know. I've had an enlarged spleen before. And I did get like a CAT scan, like probably like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and nothing like was negative on that side. It was just enlarged. Um, but like my doctor did just reach out and put like comments on it. I literally just read it like probably like 10 minutes ago. But she wants me to retest within
Yeah.
a month, which is
Yeah.
fine. And then yeah, she just like some of the things is like limit your alcohol, limit Tylenol, which I don't take. Um, limit fried food, fatty foods. See, thing is, unfortunately, that is true though. Like everything else looks good, like the cholesterol levels and all that other good stuff. But um, like I have been going out to eat quite a bit lately. With having a child, I tend to like buy some food, eat some fried foods, like if we're at a restaurant. Um, See, the alcohol thing doesn't really, I don't know. It's like I usually drink like maybe once or twice a week, and it's like been very moderate. And she just said push fluids, so I do drink quite a bit of water. But yeah, all right. I'm
Were
not.
were you sick recently?
Um, no. The only thing that was going on was like my allergies were just bothering me for like on and off for like a couple weeks where I would take allergy medicine, but nothing besides that, to be honest. I
Okay.
think I was probably
Okay.
sick like probably a month or two ago. I don't
Okay.
even know.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Yeah, because I know what one of my buddies and like his like kids were sick recently, but I thought you had said that too, and I've heard
Maybe.
that. Yeah, I've heard if you're like getting over a cold or something like that, then that can help to depress liver enzymes. So it's good that you're gonna get retested in a month.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like I don't know. Like I had the like last year. I think I mentioned on the podcast. Like my white blood count was like sort of low. Like but like by the normal scale, and like they retested and it was like normal, which is like kind of weird. That there's like always like, oh, let's retest. But I don't know. I did fast for probably like 12 hours or more, 14 hours. So I don't know if that could affect anything. I know like I don't know if, like I said, you probably know better than me, but like the fasting and non-fasting thing. But I don't want to talk about it. Let's just talk about it another time. And
Okay,
then
buddy. That's good.
yeah, as I say, because we're 13 minutes in, Roman. I want to make sure we get to your topic. But Roman, how are you doing, and what the heck are we talking about? How about that? We'll start with how you doing, and what the heck are you talking about,
I am great, buddy. Thank you for asking.
or what the heck do you
Um,
want to talk about? I should say.
I want to talk today about obstacle course racing. I guess adult OCR. Uh, OCR obstacle course race. I have my race this weekend, buddy. So I figured it was timely to kind of bring it up, chit chat about maybe training strategy around OCR, and then yeah, kind of get your feedback on it.
Yeah.
So
Well, tell everyone again what you're doing. So like for first time listeners or someone who hasn't listened to it, and then we'll kind of get into like what you were training for and how did you get there. How about that?
yeah, that sounds great. Um, so this is called the what do you call them? I guess you'd maybe say company or organization is probably more appropriate. That is organizing it is Terrain Race. They say it's like for Boston, but it's more like in the like South Central Mass. So
That
it's just a
sounds like someone would say like a Chicago race, and it'd be in like Tinley Park.
it's so
Um,
funny. Yeah,
Because
because they'll
that's like
say
the
like
same. That's the same problem we have here in Illinois.
yeah,
Like they always say
yeah.
like Chicago. It's like not even Chicago.
Yep. They'll do that about the Patriots. They'll be like, Boston sports teams, New England Patriots. Is like Foxborough is a hall to Boston. Like it's like I mean, you could probably get there in like 45 minutes, but it's close to an hour drive to Boston. So it's like, it's not really in Boston, but it's like, that's the capital of Massachusetts. That's like the central hub, the biggest city in Mass, blah, blah, all this stuff. So everything like connects back to Boston. So like Foxborough's way down here, Boston's like way up here, Cape is over here where I'm at.
I was gonna say, I don't think our sports teams are like that. I mean, maybe the Chicago Fire, but they moved them to Soldier Field, which is in
Okay.
Chicago.
Yeah.
And I think Chicago Fire, they're pretty much like 20 minutes away from Chicago,
Okay.
like the suburbs of Chicago. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Damn, I didn't realize that. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
It is. It's decently far. That's the thing. Yeah. So if they have to catch a plane, they have to go from, Foxborough. But people might live like scattered throughout Mass. But for the most part, they have to go from Foxborough. They have to drive into Logan and then fly out to MetLife Stadium to play the Jets or the Giants or something like that, or fly out like the West Coast. They're playing like the Rams, the Chargers, whatever. So it's not like it's like in Chicago, if you play for the Bears, like you might have a condo in the city or something like that. Yeah, you might also live in like the suburbs, but like if you're like, let's say you're doing film study or something like that, you go from pretty much like you're like on the lake at Soldier Field, and you can just shoot like directly west. It's probably like, I don't know, 11, 12 mile drive to O'Hare, or you just shoot to like pretty much like the south west of the city to the Midway. So I don't know, it's just different. It's a quirky thing about Mass. But so that's the locations. It's in like South Central Mass. It's a 5K, so it should be pretty short. I think it'll be very similar in um, intensity as the Fenway Park one was that I did last year. So I don't have a count for how many obstacles there will be, but it's probably in the teens to low 20s. They'll probably have 5 to 7 per mile would be my guess. I think they'll have some where you like crawl under certain obstacles. You might have to carry certain obstacles for a certain period of time. You might have to so crawl under. You might have to climb over. Sometimes they'll have you do like rope work. One of like the fun ones through Spartan, they had you like pulling a rope to pull up like a sandbag. I was like 80-pound sandbag or something, but I don't know.
That's
It was
pretty
fun.
cool.
It was really cool. It was really cool.
Yeah.
It what I've done to train is mostly just resistance exercise training and running occasionally. I think at peak I ran almost every day through the month of, I don't remember if it was March or April. I've slowed it down to maybe like 1 to 3 times a week. I also bike like 1 to 3 times a week as well. And
It's so crazy that you've been running so much for a 5K, and for like
yeah,
my marathon training, I ran once a week.
I know. I used it, one, to increase my step count. Increase my step count in a truncated window of time because work has kind of picked up, so I've dedicated more time to work, unfortunately. Um,
And
and
that's fine too. It's like, it's kind of like with the bodybuilding days where, because of you, like sometimes you had to pick up cardio on top of like weightlifting.
yeah,
So, and top of like your everyday lifestyle stuff and your work. I remember I would try to get like the most out of cardio, like as fast as possible, and like as much as like how productive it is, right? So
yeah,
it's like, if like that's why, like when I prepped the second time, like I walked. I did long distance walking, and because it helped me just make it easier. But see, the thing is, sometimes like I would like walk like an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then like the first prep I was doing like stairs where it'd be like maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and I'd probably get like the same output. So I get what you're
yeah,
saying, because it's
yeah,
like, sometimes like you get during those like time frames where it's like, well, I could walk an hour or maybe run for like 20 to 30 minutes, and then, and save 20 to 30 minutes of my day and do something else. So,
yeah, exactly.
and also
But
too,
no,
though, Also, too, though, you were part of the pull-up contest, and
Yeah,
I think that could help quite a bit too if you want to mention
it
that
did.
towards like the
Yes.
obstacle racing.
I was talking to my buddy Joe this morning, and he's so funny. He's
Shout out to
like,
Joe.
yeah, shout out to Joe.
I love his comment about the Fitbit thing. And I said, did you like my response? Surveys say Roman is too cheap.
Pretty much. Oh my god. I also remembered to wear the damn thing. I think that was my problem last time I had a Fitbit. But
Yeah.
I had OG Fitbit that had like the little like battery thing that you had to sneak in and you had to
Uh,
like double tap.
yep.
Like, oh my
Yep.
god.
You
Uh,
had to take it out to like charge it. Yep.
yep.
Yeah, I
Um,
got my Fitbit on right now. I'm at 9,138 steps.
oh dang. Okay, buddy. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so the pull-up challenge, man, of all the challenges, I like the push-up challenge a lot. That one's super easy. The pull-up challenge, just pick a number and just add one a day, and do that for a whole month, or you can do it for longer. I think if you do it for longer, you just have to be careful with recovery. Like you can do it, but if your goal is to add strength or even size, like I think it can be an effective hypertrophy strategy. I don't know if it's like optimal, but for somebody that's on the go and they might not have the time, the know-how, or they have other concerns around programming, it's a very easy way that you can program some type of back movement.
Yeah.
But Joe was saying that he feels like a beast and he's gonna like absolutely crush the event this weekend
Yeah,
because it's
because
like
and also too, because it's a lot of like pulling yourself, moving
yeah,
yourself,
yep,
and
yep, yep, yep,
and back to the pull up episode. If you guys haven't watched it, go watch it. Like obtaining your first pull up episode. I think it was like 3 or 4 back, but
yeah,
I think just being able to do that motion and like, cause I did one so long ago, but like I just remember like that movement is probably one of the most powerful besides like the running aspect. I think
yeah,
in
yeah.
those categories of like racing.
And it really is if I was smarter and I planned more accordingly, I would set up little things that was more specific. Like I would set up hurdles. Like I would go and I would do hurdles at like the my old high school's track or something like that. Like I would reach out to somebody, I would do that.
And
Or I would
honestly, most of those are open to the public if you guys don't even know. Yeah, I mean,
true.
there's a high school right here, not even 2 blocks away,
Yep.
and their fence is open to the public throughout like the whole school year.
Yep.
And I think I don't know if it's like kind of closed during like the summertime, but like I remember I went to my old high school and we used to flip tires. We used to even
Yep.
for cardio, we would even push the football sleds just for like a cardio like explosion like workout. And like
Yep.
I played football for 1 year, so I only did it just because like I did it as like a workout.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I,
that's a good point. So you could definitely do that for training. I would probably, because I've done this kind of stuff in the past, I would run to like a playground, not during school hours, um, and I would just like do the monkey bars and do like 10 sets of that or something along those lines, or tie a rope to a tree and then 10 feet tall or whatnot, and then just practice on climbing a rope, for example, because
did you
that.
climb trees as well?
Oh yeah, I would recommend it if I was smart with how I programmed this out or planned it out. But I
It's so
think
funny
my
as a kid we would climb trees so much that I couldn't even tell you the
yeah,
last time I tried climbing a tree.
I think I did it in Chicago a couple times.
Oh,
Nothing.
is that when you're stalking your prey?
Yeah, probably.
You're you're sitting on top of the tree just watching people walk by. Hello.
Good day to you, sir. Um, it wouldn't have been very high. Back in the day, though, I probably would have scaled a tree and like gone like 30 plus feet into a tree. There's no way in hell I'd be caught doing that anymore. Um, but I think the level of generality that I've trained in is assists me in developing, I'd say, general strength, and then my endurance with running, walking, rollerblading, biking, and then I've gotten almost obsessively into pickleball recently.
Like an
Though
old
I
man
think,
should.
oh my God, it's so bad. Um, I think all those activities aid in assisting with my energetic systems. So when we talk about endurance, for example, I think that they aid in how my heart rate and my brain will respond to changes in stimuli from physical activity, for example, because that's a big part of endurance activities is training your central nervous system. So I believe I've done that. I believe I have put in.
Mark Bell doesn't believe in central nervous system training, and
Oh, really?
when he says when you talk about that, he just means that you're just like trying to quit and you're trying to say you're just giving up on training. When you're saying, "Oh, my CNS is fried, my CNS is
Oh,
tired."
yeah. No, I know what he's saying. And there's probably something to that, and then there's probably something like not to that
I
as well, because
Rowan, please just I'm just messing around and saying it. You don't need to go into it. I'm just being
okay.
sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic to what you were saying.
I'm not saying that like my CNS is like fried or anything, but like to the best of my knowledge, when you perform endurance activities, what effectively ends up happening is one, you are exercising not only like the muscles, let's say you're running like your calf muscles, your quads, your low back, your spinal erectors, etc. You're also exercising your arteries and your veins, right? Because your heart has to be able to pump blood like harder. The smooth muscle lining within them, like you're going to be training that, and then our entire body.
Is that why you use blood thinners for that too while you're exercising?
No, not recommended.
What that could have showed up in that biohack article that I found.
Oh my goodness! Just pop a couple addies and you're good to go. That's so bad. If you don't know
Um,
what we're talking about with Gainz Nation, we don't recommend it. We're joking about last week's episode.
okay, so we do have like a couple minutes left, Roman.
Yes.
Are you going for a specific time? That's my first question. You're running with Joe
Yes.
and maybe more people.
Uh,
What are you looking to get out of this to finish this off? Are you doing a time? Do you want a time? And what are you getting out of this? And what do you see yourself after this? Well, maybe I should have asked that question for next week or 2 weeks from now.
It's hard to say because
You don't know the
like
obstacles.
I don't know the obstacles. I don't know how many obstacles. So I'd probably say no time, to be honest with you. I'm just doing it to enjoy it. This is really like a primer event for the Tough Mudder that me and some other folks are doing in September. So yeah, I just kind of want to enjoy it. But it always is a good, like, in being a primer, it lets me know where I'm at athletically. Like, for example, if I suck at pulling stuff, then I'm like, I might need to do a specialization cycle on pulling. Or
Yeah.
if I'm killing it with pulling, but my running sucks, I'm like, hey, maybe that one, like, when I have weeks where I'm like going like a little lighter and I'm only running once, like I need to step it up. I need to like figure out a way that I can program this in so that I can be doing more. Um, I'm not at the place where I'm willing to sacrifice any muscle. So I do recognize that there is some trade-offs there. For example, I love to like bring this up because I'm very proud of this time. But my best 5K time ever. It was on a treadmill, so it's unofficial. For folks that are like, send me the link. Like, it was on a treadmill. It was 18:47. That's my best 5K time. I almost died. I was like purple. I was like,
Was that in high
yeah.
school?
No, that was after college. I was running like an absolute phenom. It's hard for me to break a 9-minute mile for a 5K now. Um, so
Yeah,
if I finish the
I
five,
can't do
yeah,
that. I think I'm like maybe like in the mid 20s or at high 20s for
yeah.
5K.
I think if I ran leisurely, it'd be in like the upper 20s. And if I really pushed it, I could probably do, I think 8 or 8.5 minute miles. So I could probably do like 25. But that's like, I'm not confident about that at all. So as you can tell, that's a 6+ minute delta from my fastest to where I'm at currently. And I'm in phenomenal shape. I'm relatively lean. My endurance is pretty decent. I'm pretty strong. Um, but that's a pretty decent delta. So what comes of this race this weekend, I think will help me to shape my training for the Tough Mudder, which is a 15K in September. So we'll see how it goes, buddy.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm best of luck to you, buddy. I
Thank
know
you.
you're gonna crush it, and I think doing this will probably definitely get you prepared. And if not, like, if you're prepared, maybe this is a breeze and just keep trucking along and doing the same thing. Honestly, I probably wouldn't change it too much because if the training's like you already got it like planned out, then I mean, by the time it's like less than 4 months now. So
Yeah.
I mean, you probably should have it dialed in somewhat more. But good luck, buddy, and then thank you guys for tuning in, watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. We're on all audio and video platforms, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.